September 10th? Same day? No, it's 5:45 p.m. What is this incredibly overpowering sweet scent? Maybe my Pokemon's move. It smells like flowers. Uncle Bad, is this it? Oh, she knows. She knows Detective Bad. Interesting. Wonder how close. Hey, it looks like she managed to escape the bailiff. No, that's not quite it. Is it nail polish? 'Cause we know never to trust nail polish in Ace Attorney. Aw, too bad. But it's so pretty. I think you're still a bit too young to be wearing that. But since you found it, I guess I can let you keep it. Thanks! I'll treasure it always. Those two seem to get along rather well. Oh, here. Yeah, I've got something else for you. Is it a little mirror? No, it's a sweet roll. Yay! Thank you, Uncle Bad. Earlier, I ate one of these with Gummy. Gummy? Oh, you mean Gumshoe. Gummy is. He was trying to be nice to me because I was gonna get in trouble. And then he got in trouble because he lied to protect me. Gummy! I know he didn't kill Daddy. Don't cry. Faraday would be sad if he saw you crying. I'm not crying. Kay, they're strangers. You got this. Kay. Oh, it's the mister from before. And the lady, too. Lady, she's only 3 years older than you. You're not involved in the investigation, so it's for the best if you do. Actually, I'm Uncle Bad's assistant. Oh, I see. Bad gets the partner button too. So, I'm related to the investigation. Is that so, Detective Bad? Yeah, I guess. What? You were just scolding us like kids to not mess up the crime scene. And now you let this child run free? Why? And people are free to investigate things outside of the actual crime scene. Wait till I show you this is the real crime scene. Error. I don't have a problem with that, but I am curious as to what Miss Yu was looking into. Uncle Bad, I'm gonna go look somewhere else now, okay? Alright, I'm counting on you. Oh, that's right. Hey, mister. Yes, what is it? I know Gummy really isn't the bad guy. I mean, so please, find the real bad guy, okay? Dots. I won't forgive whoever did this. But in the absence of the perfect piece of testimony and evidence, there is no one else who could be the true culprit other than Detective Gumshoe. Let me really quick let my dog out because she's barking. Hopefully a treat will satiate my dog. There is no one else who could be the true culprit, other than Detective Gumshoe. You're thinking too small, Edgeworth. She wandered off while I was pondering. Kay was like, screw that thinking nonsense, I'm out of here. Talk to me, Bad. Detective Bad, what exactly was Kay searching for? Nothing that concerns you, boy. Oh, and I suppose it has something to do with Kay? It does, because she's Faraday's daughter. Anyway, hurry up and get to the point. I don't have time to waste. Sounds like he'd rather be left alone. I have something I'd like to confirm with you once again. I don't have anything to say to you. Tut tut tut. Humph. Be that as it may, we still have questions that we need answers to. Now then, first of all, what is the overpowering smell that is permeating this room? Upon entering this room, I thought I was going to suffocate. It's that ultra-strong perfume Yuz wears. She spilled some of it. Maybe she spilled some of it to cover up the smell of a murder. Because she murdered someone in here. I don't trust you as far as I could throw her. And I can't throw her very far. In fact, I can't throw her at all because she's a video game character. So, I don't trust her at all either. I was having a bad time of it myself. I didn't think twice and opened the window, but that smell's still here. Perfume, huh? So the sweet scent in the air is perfume. Well, it's given off quite a stench. I bet it's some cheap, no-name brand. She said, it's a famous brand from overseas. Ah, it's a knockoff. Yes, definitely a knockoff. Little 8th grade Francisca being like, I'm a perfume snob. Sniff, sniff. No disrespect, but she forced one of these battles on me. Here, little girl, you can have it. Humph. I was born for a much more expensive and refined perfume. However, seeing as you just happen to have a spare, I'll suppose I'll take it. Miles Edgeworth, you will hold on to this bottle without fail. Ugh. Why can't she ever be honest about what she wants? Maybe it's because you guys were raised by an awful father who tried to instill incredible arrogance, pretentiousness, and all-around evil into your souls. So now we have the perfume Miss Yu wears. Just fantastic. Is that all you wanted to talk about? If so, I'm going back to investigating. Actually, I still have a few other things I wish to inquire about. Let me get a look at this perfume, though. Alright. So let's hear about during recess. So, you were in this room the entire recess? Did you play Four Corners? Like I said, I made a call to the precinct to get that big lug down here. But other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end in here. At least your story is consistent. Earlier, you stated you were in this lobby with Miss Yu. Yeah, I ran into her in the hallway. She said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came in here. Then what you're saying is that until Detective Gumshoe's arrival, you and Miss Yu were in two different locations. Was Miss Yu in the murder room? Committing a murder? Guess I am. Interesting. Speaking of that lawyer, she seems to have a great dislike for you. Oof. Let's see. Miss Yu is the sister of the victim of the KG8 incident. And as I recall, Detective Bad was the lead detective on that case. And I wonder if the reason for her disdain isn't simply because you failed to guard Cece, but because you were the lead detective on the case. You knew? Oof. I also know that today's trial involving the Kodopian embassy staff member is being referred to as the second KG8 incident. Now then, Detective, I believe it's time you were honest with me and told me the truth between your relationship with Miss Yu and Mr. Faraday and the KG8 incident. Oh, look at all those dots. If you already know that much, I guess it'd be alright to tell you. Tell me. Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG8 incident. It's not exactly a happy story. Other than the people who were directly involved, you two will be the first to hear what I'm about to tell. Ooh, I love being in on the secret. The honest truth behind the KG8 incident. Oh, look, he's got the cliche, it's a lollipop instead of a cigarette. This man is feeling like a walking censorship. Like, no, he doesn't have a gun. He has a mirror. And nope, that's not a cigarette. It's a lollipop. Faraday, you and I wasn't there. That's a bad joke. As you already know, we three were involved with the KG8 incident. Faraday and I, we were originally on the trail of a smuggling ring. They had so many cocoons. You mean the smuggling case involving one of the Amano Group's secretaries? That trial was just a front. Facade? Yeah, but the case became tainted. All because the witness who was gonna testify about the Amano Group's ties to the smuggling ring, CCU, was killed. Then, what became of the secretary who was arrested? His name was Colin Devore. To be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about the smuggling ring, but he confessed to knowing about it anyway. Devore was probably being intimidated by the big boss man. Just another scapegoat. Poor dude. The boss man of the Amano Group can't seriously mean Ernest Amano. That can't be right. It's probably just Detective Bad's personal hypothesis. Can't wait for you to be wrong about that one, Edgeworth. Eat the rich. What is he trying to do? Suspecting Mr. Amano of being involved with smuggling? I suppose it would have been quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed. But the man who killed CCU, Manny Cochin, was a completely different person. But since he's already been acquitted once for her murder, Mr. Faraday, how could you have let him go? If I remember correctly, I heard that Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from him. No, that wasn't Faraday's fault. It was mine. I wasn't vigilant enough. Faraday, CC. I was supposed to protect them both. Miss Yu didn't mention that as well. About how Detective Bad was supposed to guard her sister. But even I, who was supposed to protect them, I fell into their trap. What kind of trap? Oof. The holes in this jacket are a testimony to that trap. Oh my god, it was a gun trap. You mean you were fired upon? You were shot at that many times in one gunfight? No. Only about half of these are from that case. But the reason I continue to wear this jacket is to remind myself. It's shocking that, like, someone's, like, visual dress is actually being explained, like, in canon, of the lessons I learned from the KG8 incident. I see. Oh gosh, my water. I couldn't protect CCU, and the suspect was found not guilty. We had hit a brick wall, as far as the law was concerned. And that's when she came to the courtroom, the victim's sister. That's when I first met Callisto Yu. About when you first met Miss Yu. It was on the day the verdict of the KG8 incident was handed down, was it not? Yeah. Faraday and I, we apologized to her from the bottom of our hearts. It was all we could do, but just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back, she said. And then she gave me a hard slap across the face. Well, she certainly had a lot of self-control to stop at just a slap. That's so brutal to say, Franziska. If it was me, not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough. I suppose not. You said it herself. That she never wanted to see either of us again, and yet she kept showing up to court. But after that, you've seen her many times over, correct? Yeah. Faraday and I, even after the KG8 incident had come to a close, we continued to hunt the smuggling ring and got involved in a variety of cases. But it's no use. We cracked so many different cases, but the result was always the same. We couldn't find the real mastermind behind the ring. Ooh, who's gonna be the real mastermind? Is the ring really that big? It was the result of the ring that we met you once again. It was during another trial, related to the smuggling ring. Faraday was the prosecutor, and I, as the lead detective, took to the witness stand. She appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney. Her client was related to the smuggling ring, and she was defending them? Yeah. You was pursuing the ring as best she could as a lawyer. I think she defended Rel this time for the same reason. Come to think of it, Miss Yu did say something to the same effect. I'm still curious how this works. Like, does she, like, at the last minute go like, alright, I got all my answers, I'm I'm no longer his defense attorney. Let me leave. Like, just leave them during the trial. Like, just get up and leave halfway. I have my own agenda. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG-8 incident, right? And for that, you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer? Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. Dots. The only way I had to get close to Mr. L was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him, ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. Humph, it doesn't matter what her reason is. Helping a criminal is just despicable. You're so naive, little girl. I could have stolen this lollipop from you. That's how naive you are. How dare you insult the daughter of a Von Karma? Just like us, you felt that she had hit the limit of what the law could do. That's all. The law is merely a tool. There's no limit to it. Only the skill of the craftsman. Is there? I would disagree with that because, like, if there weren't limits to what the law could do, then they wouldn't need to add more laws. You two are still too young, but one day you'll know what I mean. But enough sidetracking. What matters is that we met you again, in pursuit of the smuggling ring. That's all. So, what was your relation to Miss Faraday? Or Mr. Faraday? You even seem to know Kay fairly well. I met him when he was a rookie prosecutor. Known him ever since. And Kay? I've known her since the day she was born. Faraday and I, we cracked quite a few cases together. But you two seem to have made no progress at all in the Yatagarazu case. Dots. Did we touch a nerve? I only have one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Yatagarazu than me and Faraday. That's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial. To prove that Rel was not the real Yatagarazu. Which I would have done if he hadn't turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify, but this time, to prove or disprove the accusation. But I guess I won't be doing that either. I find it interesting that he didn't say one way or another what side he was gonna take. I sense that there's more to that statement than meets the eye. Perhaps a bit more digging into the Yatagarazu is what's necessary. Yatagarazu. You claim to know much about the Yatagarazu. Would you care to share what you know with me? What you two should be looking for right now is proof of murderous intent towards Faraday and Rel. I agree, which is exactly why I'm asking you about the Yatagarazu. What? The KG-8 incident and this second KG-8 incident. Both of these cases are tied to the smuggling ring. And in both of these cases, the witness who was about to testify about the ring was murdered. However, there is one point in which they differ, and that is the presence or absence of the great thief Yatagarazu. Mr. Rel claimed to be the Yatagarazu. However, in the middle of the trial, he suddenly declared Mr. Faraday to be the real Yatagarazu. Then, during the recess, they were both killed. Don't you find that the least bit odd? Miles Edgeworth, stop beating around the bush and just spit it out already. I believe there must be some reason that the two men suspected of being the Yatagarazu were both killed at the same time. What if you isn't actually like, I'm trying to save my sister? What if she's secretly just been part of the ring the entire time and like, it's like, I'm actually part of this ring, I'm in on it, need that cash money. and so she's really trying to keep the status quo. A reason, huh? And so, in order to catch Mr. Faraday's and Mr. Rel's cold-blooded killer, I feel that I need to learn as much as I can about the Yatagarazu. If it will help you solve this case. Then I'll tell you. And I'll tell you the reason why we've never caught the Yatagarazu. What was that sudden outburst for? You almost made me whip you by accident. Ow! It still accidentally whipped me anyway. There are three main reasons why the Yatagarazu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagarazu always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagarazu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. Third, the Yatagarazu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind either. I see. So, those are the Yatagarazu's special traits. Sounds like an incredibly elusive thief. The Yatagarazu has never been caught on tape, never tries to draw anyone's attention, and would never do something as lowbrow as commit murder. That's how I knew that Rel wasn't the real Yatagarazu right away. But you can use that sort of logic on its own to prove that he wasn't. But listen, little girl, I'm not done talking yet. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police. And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kodopian embassy. The Yatagarazu. The Yatagarazu sent the evidence? Until now, the Yatagarazu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select other few knew about. In that case, how can you be so sure that was the Yatagarazu who sent it? That's easy. A special card that only the Yatagarazu uses was attached. That's how I can be so sure. And just what sort of card was it? Here, take a look at this article. Whenever the Yatagarazu wants to publicize something, a white card is sent along with the stolen information. But when we questioned Mr. Rel about what was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was. Ah, and that's how Detective Bad knew that Mr. Rel was a phony. Thank you very much. I have a much better understanding of the Yatagarazu now. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes. His Honor would like to transfer the evidence from today's trial over to you. So, if you could please head over to the courtroom, it'd be much appreciated, sir. Understood. I'll be there shortly. Detective Bad, what does the law mean to you? Oh, so many dots. Finding the answer to that question is the only reason I'm still alive. I became a prosecutor to find the answer to that question myself, and to play a part in ensuring that all criminals everywhere are found guilty. September 10th. Oh, it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. It appears that His Honor is a bit dispirited. For the first time today, I experienced what it's like to stand at the witness stand. I now have a greater appreciation for just how hard it is to give testimony. Well, there's no reason for you to be all depressed about it, Your Honor. As a judge, no one expects you to think about anything other than the verdict. Francisca, there's no need to further oh, wait, wrong voice. Francisca, there is no need to further depress His Honor. But I'm not trying to, Miles. I'm just not good at relating to people. Your Honor? Eh? Your Honor, I've come to collect the evidence that was to be transferred to me. Your Honor, the evidence? Your Honor? Oh, yes, can I help you? I'd like to collect the evidence now, sir. Your Honor, you think you could stay focused long enough to at least do your job? Yes, I'm sorry. And I would, except that the defense attorney has yet to arrive. She is busy with the investigation, so let's keep this brief, shall we? Very well. In that case, please confirm that all the pieces of evidence are present. Furthermore, the evidence that was used in the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell are also included, so please go ahead and use them in your investigation into this case. Understood, Your Honor. The pieces of evidence that were used in the murder of these two men. This could be a very good chance for me to find new leads regarding this case. And maybe even something that will finally lead me to the truth. I've placed all the evidence over at the prosecutor's bench for you. Okay, but what's on the defense thing? I see. Thank you very much. I will go and confirm that they are all accounted for. Yeah, no, let me immediately go over here and check this out. Evidence that Miss Yu prepared is just sitting here on the table. You know you can't just walk off with it, right? Of course I do. Miss Yu must have been caught off guard by her client's sudden accusation. I wonder how she would have defended Mr. Rell in that case if he was still alive. Probably would have just not have. Just been like, okay. So, this is the evidence related to today's Cadopian Embassy trial from Mr. Faraday's bag. You mean the the evidence bag that was on the table in lobby number 2, right? Yes. Finally, we can now take a look at the evidence itself, and not just the data about them. Let's be sure to thoroughly examine them while we have the time. Indeed, now I want to take a good look at all of the evidence from the embassy murder too. And why is that? Because I still don't fully understand about what today's trial was about. Gwah. Don't point your crop at me just because you don't know something. And don't you try to order me around just because Papa chose you today. Papa. I see someone is still sore about not being picked by Mr. Von Karma. It's also real to see the knife up close. So we have the knife, the gun, an envelope, and what's this organizer doing here? Oh, that's right. Yeah, I completely forgot to tell you. About what, Your Honor? They found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer inside that evidence bag of his. Detective Bad requested it be passed along to you. He said it would help the investigation. Detective Bad said that? What a strange stroke of luck. Well, never look a gift horse in the mouth. We might as well flip through it too. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Mr. Faraday's organizer. It appears he was in the habit of using it. It looks like he wrote his strategy for getting Mr. Rell convicted down in here. I've collected all the evidence I need to prove that Rell was the killer. Between the handgun, I shouldn't be in the surveillance tape. It appears that Mr. Faraday honestly believed that Mr. Rell was the killer in this case. The sound of his handgun going off was recorded with superb quality on the surveillance video. I also have evidence that I can use to prove that Rell was not the real Yatagarazu. No matter how he may try to play it, as long as I have the Yatagarazu's key, I can prove he's a phony. If I present it to him in court, it should clear everything up. It's been a long battle. I hope I can finally put this to an end. Yes, I believe that Mr. Faraday was well prepared to discredit any claim Mr. Rell may have made about being the real Yatagarazu. And he had a way to prove that Mr. Rell was the guilty party in the embassy murder. This organizer is a clue straight from Mr. Faraday. I'll have to take my time and give it a thorough read. Interesting. Look, there's a picture stuck between the pages here. It appears to be a key. And a rather ornate one at that. Just look at the design on the handle. The craftsmanship is superb. Could this be the Yatagarazu's key that Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer? The Yatagarazu's key? The Detective Bad said something earlier. What's different about this time was the evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police. And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kodopian embassy. The Yatagarazu. I just saw this, I'm not gonna read it again. Mr. Faraday must have been trying to keep this secret key safe. As the prosecutor on both the Yatagarazu and smuggling rings cases, that's to be expected. Oh no, I want to look at that, not present something. I took a quick look through these documents before the trial started. Well, I wasn't even afforded the opportunity to skim it. I suppose I should explain it to you then. Yes, you should. Perfectly and in its entirety, if you please. On the night of September 8th, an embassy staff member was killed in front of the embassy. The staff member died of shock due to being shot in the heart. Mackerel was brought in that night because he was super fishy as a suspect and thoroughly questioned. Because the murder weapon was found on him, and for which he was arrested on the spot. A simpleton of a man, that's what he was. Perhaps he was, for the weapon was the only incriminating evidence we had. Mr. L was caught in the act on film by a security camera. He was an even bigger simpleton than I thought. I can't believe he didn't notice a security camera. The Cadopian Embassy's security system is supposedly very well designed. He may have simply not been aware that there was a camera in the area. So, have you seen the contents of the video for yourself? Yes, the surveillance video the security camera took was played during the trial by Mr. Faraday. You can clearly identify Mr. Rell on it. Even the sound of the gunshot was crystal clear. So the footage included sound, huh? I don't think I'd ever want to see the moment of someone's death in real life. Me neither. This gun was originally used to kill the Cadopian Embassy staff member. When the crime was reported, the responding police found Mr. Rell still holding it, which led to his immediate arrest. And then, the gun took the original shooter's life. How ironic. Indeed. There doesn't seem to be anything else we can learn from this piece of evidence. It's the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. Who would have thought that such a beautiful piece of art could be used for such a cruel act? Has never crossed your mind that you use your riding crop for the wrong purpose? That's odd. What is it? Mr. Faraday didn't mention anything about a knife in his organizer. That certainly is odd. The weapon that was used to kill the Cadopian Embassy staff member was the gun. But if that's the case, then where did the knife that was used to murder Mr. Faraday come from? Isn't it obvious? It was brought into the courthouse by Mr. Rell. That's the only logical conclusion, right? Or maybe by the other lawyer? No, because it's not that easy to smuggle a weapon like that in here. Every person who enters the courthouse doors is checked thoroughly for contraband. Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible to bring a knife as large as this inside. In that case, how do you suppose the knife ended up inside the courtroom? I need to think carefully here. There's nothing related to the knife written anywhere in Mr. Faraday's organizer. However, it is a fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Conversely, there's one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer that no one has claimed to see today. So in order to solve this mystery, I believe I will need to take another good look at the evidence. Miles Edgeworth, can I take the fact that you have yet to answer me to mean that you don't have the answer for me? Actually, I do know the answer, Francisca. What? Then what is it? One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been hiding a secret of its own. So, what is the piece of evidence? Weapon found in Mr. Rell's hand. Let's see. What could it have been brought in? Unusual shape. Maybe this was originally the knife. It's a detachable knife almost. This Yatagarazu's key that Mr. Faraday mentions in his organizer. This is how the knife was brought into the courthouse. You're not making any sense, Miles Edgeworth. Oof. You just need to look a little bit closer, Francisca, to see what I mean. Don't the color and ornamentation of this key's handle remind you of anything? They do remind me of the knife. Very good. Both the Yatagarazu's key in this photo and the murderous knife have this very unique design on their handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentions the Yatagarazu's key, the only object we found on the crime scene was this knife. You don't seriously mean to say... It appears you've finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say that these two pieces are in fact one and the same. But that's impossible. Even if that's what you believe, we should still investigate the possibility. Nah. Now then, let us examine this knife in a little bit more detail. Aw man, let me look at that knife. Like a switchblade. It's the weapon that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. The handle and the blade itself both have beautiful designs worked into them. Look, there's even a flower-shaped design in this gold section here. If this hadn't been used as a tool for murder, I'd want it for myself. She seems to be drawn to the embellishments. Too bad this isn't mine to give. Let me look at the bottom here. Maybe there's like a switchblade component. Yeah. Aw man. I can't believe it turned into a key. To think there was such a trick to this thing. So, the weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key the Yatagarazu stole. This piece of information is more critical than anything we've learned up until now. Because this proves that the other guy couldn't have stabbed him, because clearly Rell wouldn't know how to use this knife key. Frankly, I'm shocked. Mr. Faraday only mentioned the key aspect in this piece of evidence in his organizer. It's possible that even he had no idea that the key was hiding a knife blade inside. But if that's true, then only someone who knew about the key to knife trick could have killed Mr. Faraday. Even among law enforcement, this key was a top secret. We're looking for someone who knew more about the key than even Mr. Faraday. Meaning that the only person it could be is the one who sent the key in the first place. The great thief Yatagarazu. And maybe Mr. Rel really was the Yatagarazu. And he was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that one possible scenario? No, not really. Especially since Mr. Faraday was absolutely that convinced that Mr. Rel was not the Yatagarazu. Besides, as Detective Bad said earlier, but when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was. I see. Alright then, I guess the person who knows the trick behind this key is someone else. That person is the real Yatagarazu. It seems that this key is truly the key to solving this case. That's odd. We're short one piece of evidence. And the piece that's missing is the surveillance video that was played in court. The surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? Hey you, empty out your bag. The video showing the moment in which Mr. Rel committed the murder. Where could it have gone indeed? Are you done with your inspection of the evidence? Yes, I'm finished. However, Your Honor, I'm missing a single piece of prosecutorial evidence. Your Honor, were you derelict in your duties? What? No, I dare not lick my duties. What do you take me for? No, Your Honor, the most important piece of evidence in today's trial, the surveillance video, is not amongst the evidence you laid out for me. But I brought Mr. Faraday's whole bag with me from the crime scene. Maybe the tape is still somewhere at the crime scene? Dots. There's something wrong here. Something about this missing piece of evidence. It appears that for me to find the answers I seek, I'll have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime, defendant's lobby number 2.